Hello and welcome back to my channel. We are finally doing a little bit of DIY. This is something that I have actually done before on some of my skirting boards. These ones behind me. I can't actually remember whether I filmed it or not last time, but I did it, I liked it, and then I changed my mind and decided I didn't want it. I think it was to do with the fact I put some wooden panelling in the hallway, and then I also think I was thinking about putting some new floor down that kind of had that oaky effect, which I thought was then going to just be way too much wooden effect. That didn't happen anyway, and then now I think I actually really like the wooden effect on the skirting boards, so I've decided I want to do it on all of my skirting boards all over the house. So I've decided I am going to make a start on these ones, the ones that have previously had this done to them. There's probably 95 layers of paint and all sorts on these skirting boards, but can I be bothered stripping them down? Nope, let's pretend. Let's do a pretend look that makes it look like I've stripped them down to bare wood, but I haven't. Nobody knows. So the items I'm going to be using today, possibly all three. So the tub I have here is the actual furniture wax, browning wax from Frenchic. And this tin, as you can tell, is a little bit beaten up and been used many a time. I'm hoping there is quite a bit left in it, but we shall see. Do you know what? There's tons. It looks like there isn't, but there's loads around the edge. And it does smell. And you don't need too much of it, so hopefully that'll get me through quite a few of the skirting boards, but I may need to buy more at some point. The other product you use to actually create the base for the brown and wax to go onto is this Frenchic paint from the Lazy range in Creme De La Creme, and it gives it that nice soft creamy colour underneath, so that when you put the brown and wax on top it just creates a really nice shade. So I've tried it on a couple of different ones. I tried it on Salt of the Earth and it was a little bit too grey dark colour, didn't give it that nice creamy colour. Anyway, I know what I'm talking about, I've tested it on other ones, but Creme De La Creme is the one that most people use anyway, and it gives it that chalky base. So if you put the Frenchic wax over normal paint, it doesn't give the same effect. For some reason, this really helps create that wooden effect. And then I have bought some Tough Coat, Frenchic Matte Tough Coat. Now I've never actually used this, as you can tell, it's brand new. My plan is to maybe put this over the very top once all the wax is dried and everything, just to really make them durable, to make sure they can't be chipped and stuff. I don't know. We'll give it a test spot at some point. Also, I might use this to redo my kitchen cabinets with, because I have painted them a long time ago, but I feel like they need painting again. They've chipped a little bit and I feel like they need painting again, and I think this will do a good job of giving it a top coat that maybe it'll last longer in the future. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we're using today. Also have bought some dust sheets because, oh my goodness, I am terrible at messing up everywhere when I paint. I said to Jim yesterday, I said I'm gonna be really tidy tomorrow. I'm not gonna make a mess anywhere. He's like, you usually say that and you end up getting paint all over the floors and all over your clothes and all over everywhere. Not today. Promise. Also I've bought some new wax paintbrushes. I think this will help give the textured wax effect over the paint. We shall see. They were only cheap from Amazon. So yeah. And I hope I've got enough. I don't know if I do have enough of the masking tape to go everywhere, because you need to protect the walls from the chaos that is the paint and the wax. Anyway, let's get changed into something that is, I don't mind getting covered in paint, because I probably will get covered in paint. Shh. See how we get on. Little tip, learnt from the internet. Never actually tried this, but I thought it might help with not getting paint built up in this and then being unable to shut the tin, because that happens to me every single time. The thing about doing the ones in here is that I've actually already painted them with wedding cake Frenchic, not just a wedding cake, that would be really strange, but I've got paint on my work bag, that's good. Wedding cake paint by Frenchic, so it's already got that chalky finish anyway, so I'm just doing a thin layer. Some of my other skirting boards, which I haven't touched for a long time, may need 2 coats of this, but the ones in here I'm hoping will only need 1. Obviously I have run out of masking tape, so I'm going to have to go to the shop. And the nearest one to me is probably not the most cheapest one, but it is less time and effort to get there, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But first, cup of tea. Right, I have roped Jim in on this fine morning to help me take these doors off. Some of the screws are being very, very awkward. Oh God! Oh. Just put him in the dark because I wanted better lighting. Okay, so day 2. Jim is trying to go to bed after his night shift, but I have just roped him in to help me get these goddamn doors off. Basically, like, obviously I am a woman who can do anything herself, DIY wise, can't I, Jim? Yeah. But occasionally, if something is annoying, like that takes patience, it just, my brain is like, no, can't do it. Somebody help. So that's what Jim's doing. I definitely don't want to put these doors back on with these old fittings. I am going to take one of these to B&Q with the screws and see whether I can replace them all for nice shiny brand new ones. I love like brass, nice brass ones, so we shall see. Don't know why, but that looks really, really creepy. I just decided to put that covering over to cover all our coats because I can't bother taking them out and I don't want to cover them in paint. But doesn't it look weird? Okay, I've made a lot of progress, to be fair. Covered my hands in paint. It's just the drying process of waiting for the coat of Creme De La Creme and then deciding whether I'm doing 2 coats or not. Some bits I am, some bits I'm not. And then, because if you go in too early with the brown and wax, it doesn't work. It starts taking off the paint and mixing it together, and it gives it like this weird browny cream colour that isn't what we're after. We're after the paint first and then just the brown and wax on top that does the effect. We are progressing though. It's getting somewhere. I'm tired, but I am going to go to B&Q now and see whether I can find replacement hinges for all my doors. Most of my doors. Just reminded myself to take this with me. Imagine if I'd got there and didn't have these with me. That would have been annoying. Let's see if I can do that. And replacement screws. It's a big job. It's gonna take some time. I've got to say, the matte top coat, like tough stuff thing that I've put on is really nice. It's made it feel really, really nice to touch as well, and it doesn't feel like anything's going to rub off. Really, really like it. I think that's made a massive difference. Well. I had a few hiccups in that makeover, to be fair. I need to learn to slow down. So I hope this video's gone okay. There is some footage of me doing the skating boards, but overall, I mean, a lot of the skating boards are like down the hallway where the lighting's just terrible and I can't really get good angles of me actually doing it. So it's just difficult. And then I had to do it in the evenings on some nights and it was just dark anyway and just made the hallway even darker. And then just, yeah, it was very difficult. And also I just couldn't be bothered to prep myself for filming and stuff whilst doing it. I was just wanting to get it done quickly. So I get myself in these moods, these zones where I'm like, this needs doing and this needs doing 100 miles an hour. So I'm like, boom, 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 do it fast, do it fast. And then when I was doing the skirting boards, I noticed that I wanted to do something with the doors. I noticed they weren't perfectly done. I was like, well, I painted these a long time ago. I painted another one a different shade of grey at some point, and so none of them were like uniform or done. And I thought, right, gotta get these doors done at the same time as being in the middle of all the skirting boards. So I painted the cupboard doors in the hallway the same colour as this. But not just the same colour, the same paint, which isn't a woodwork door paint, it's just this paint. So it hasn't come out very smooth and it does need a second coat. So ignore the look of them in the hall because they are not finished. And then I had this great idea to replace all the hinges on my doors, which turned out to be an absolute disaster. Apparently it's not easy to just switch out your hinges on doors. I don't think so anyway. Tell me if you've managed to do it and if it's easier than I think, or easier than it was for me. I've literally been able to swap out one single hinge. The rest of them, the doors would not fit with the hinges, even though the hinges were exactly the same size. Just didn't like it. My bathroom door, one of the holes has it's just ruined, so it's not even holding screws in. So we had a right nightmare with that one. I managed to find a longer screw and basically put the old hinges back on and use this longer screw to get it to work. So it's holding at the moment, but we literally had a day where we had to, every time we went in the bathroom, you had to like lift the door up and put it back on its hinge every time you open and close the door. So we've had an interesting week with this. Yeah, I need to learn to not take on so many things and not get so many ideas. Just finish one thing at a time. Because then I had a meltdown in the middle of this project and thought that some of the skating boards I'd done with the brown and wax but put too many layers on. Because I think I went back in on it thinking it didn't have enough, and then it ended up looking really orangey and it was too much. So I had to literally redo it. I had to like do another coat of the Creme De La Creme and then do it again. Then I thought I didn't even like them. And you know what? Now I love them. Literally like a few days later, also whilst editing this video, I've seen the old footage of when they were originally white and I've gone, oh my god, they like didn't look that nice white. Like they look so much better in this rustic-y wooden look. As I say, I don't know whether you can full on tell how good they look in like via the camera or pictures or the footage I can get of them, because it's just the colouring of the light and stuff like that. I can't really convey exactly what they look like, but they do look good in real life. And that top coat, the matte stuff, oh, it's made such a nice difference. That's what they feel like. That's the sound they feel like. And nothing comes off, and it's just brilliant because, yeah, you worry that the wax might like wear off when you touch it. You do tend to touch skating boards sometimes. I know that I kind of lean on this one sometimes. Maybe if you're putting your shoes on or something, you kind of, I don't know, hold the door frame or something. But yes, I'm very happy with it. I've had some paint samples for the doors because I do want to do, now I've done those skating boards, I do want to do the doors. I'm kind of straying away from like cold greys. I don't want that in the house anymore, but at the same time, what colour can you paint a door? Because we don't want white. So I'm a bit stuck, but I think we've come to the conclusion, because Jim wants this. Jim would like the doors to be this colour, so it all kind of matches. But I realised that this is Valspar in Arrowhead, and I realised on the B&Q website that they do actually do a wood paint version, like for wood and metal. So if I maybe get that mixed up in that type of paint, maybe it'll come out nicer and give like a nice finish on the doors eventually. But when I do take on that challenge, I'm not going to take all the doors off their hinges and do this massive mission of trying to get them all painted at the same time. I'm just going to do like one door at a time. One door at a time, take it nice and slow. I will then. And if you see me taking all the doors off, trying to do everything 100 miles an hour, stop me. Because I shouldn't be doing that, because it's just too stressful. Stress myself out, do a bad job, and it all goes wrong. And this is supposed to be enjoyable. I say I enjoy DIY. I did not enjoy this project in the end because I just caused myself too much chaos. And I didn't need to do that. I could have enjoyed it. I'm trying to think what else to update on. I'd love to change the door handles, but I had a nightmare trying to change a door handle in the bathroom once. But I don't know whether it was because it also had the lock involved, so maybe that was a bit more complex. But I feel like I can maybe try and do it on a normal door. Maybe try. So that might happen, but I'm leaving the friggin' hinges and leaving them alone. They're annoying. Obviously I'd love to get brand new doors, but that's not going to happen. That'd be way too expensive. To be fair, I only need 1, 2, 3. I only needed 4 actual doors and then 2 cupboard doors, which are like a little bit slimmer. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that, but I would love that. It's just the fitting of them and everything as well. It's not just buying them, is it? It's like, yeah, because I cannot do that. If I can't replace a hinge, I definitely can't fit a whole brand new door. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I do hope you like the finished look. I like the finished look after it's settling in for a couple of days. I really like it, and I do have a couple more skirting boards to do. I have the lounge to do, our bathroom to do, and our bedroom to do. So I do still have rooms to do. So I don't know whether I'll film that or not, but I will be doing that at some point. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for sticking through, watching, and yeah, getting to the end of this chaos. And I shall see you in my next video, which will not be chaotic. Bye bye.